is in the last period I've done a lot of small things, and I love the small things because it's always like a little poetry, because they express what I have inside. Sometimes it's childish, sometimes I consider a mature childish style, but you know, sometimes when you see some skyscraper, there is much less poetry and much less intensity than a little landscape like that. So I love to play these two different scales. In the little scales, you look the object always from outside. I did some nice flowers. Now I have another exhibition with vases, with color glasses, like a collection of those. On the other side, I'm fascinated by how you live inside the places, and that's another part of the mind. So how you feel comfortable, why you like a place. Not under the stylistic point of view, not in a manneristic way, but like an animal, how you fit nicely and which are the ingredients that you make you feel well. Or there is another dimension, which is very much the research. There was a work in the Biennale of 5 years ago with Sejima called Rethinking Happiness. And that, again, is another scale of seeing how communities live well in a situation. So, which are the ingredients that you put together? What is the seed that you try to produce that can reproduce? And so when you get to the community is the variety of people, the variety of functions, the variety of activity, which build a critical mass that makes a community to be a community that can exist and that you can happy to be part of. So really, I like, otherwise I get bored. I like to play from the little scale to basically what's the feeling. I mean, maybe the edge is to do an object that you look from outside and to do something that is not, as it happens often with architecture, a big object with no attention on how you live in it or around it, and how you really enjoy to live in a place, to live in a how do you say, in un quartiere, how do you say, in a piece of a city, in a part of the city. I mean. So this is also something we do a lot, which is design of services, or the subtitle of one of the work was Micro-Realities in Biennale 2004, was they are the action of the people that define the places and not vice versa. It's not the architecture defining the place, but you build in the, in the Renaissance, the city were growing to fit the activity and the life of the people. Now sometimes you see the opposite. They do some crazy building you don't know how to deal with. People, they are not, you don't think that they're done for the people and what they have to do. I tell you in another way, I answer in another way. I'm very happy when people recognize something they love in what I do. It's not something of the brand Aldo Cibic, but something that somebody loves to possess what I've done, not for a status, not because it's Gucci or Prada, but because they just like. I did an installation with many heads with Valerio, with many heads of elephants. And then I did a new brand, and I put the elephants as an object to sell, and people, they buy this head of elephant. What they need for? They need just a nice decoration, either on the wall or on a table or on a cupboard, I don't know. makes you happy. You see this red elephant, or it's a silver effect elephant, and people they love to have because brings some joy in their life, I hope. That's why they buy, not you don't use the elephant. So it's not functionalism, you know what I mean? It's something that sometimes is really for a proper use, sometimes it's just to bring a little something that makes you a little happy. I'm a self-instructed. I was very lucky because I started when I was 22 with the Sozzas. I became partner in 1980. And Michele De Lucchi and Branzi, that came after me, Michele was my first mentor because Sozzas was so far away from me that I was an ignorant coming from the countryside. Then Michele was the intellectual mentor, yeah, between, yes. And Branzi also, we had a very nice relation because he's a good, sometime, is a, you know, there are different destinies. But in my case, was a very strong imprinting because I was 22 and I ended up to be sweeping the floor in Sozza's office. Not sweeping the floors, but I was not a master at all. So I've learned there, and the biggest teaching was always, I mean, which is good that I had that master, that fantastic master, that is to be always very open, not being specialized, not considering, not coming to the being maniac of being good in making something, but that always a very wide point of view. So not considering culture the issue number one, to enrich from many different sources, not from philosophy, from art, from looking at the people in the street. And in what I was saying to you before, what I became more and more is really at looking and at reading the newspaper and seeing what's the life of the people and have an idea of who is surrounding you and what sometimes you can do nice for the people surrounding you from the social level. Then the object here is another level, but it's always how to be useful in some way to create something positive, I hope.